Thank you very much for coming to the studio today.
There are lots of other examples of people who love what they do.
His interests include cooking and photography.
In other countries, it's perceived as less of a problem.
If you're working after 11 o'clock, we drive you home.
I found a large rock, and I broke through the basement window.
I've always been interested in biology and physics.
Allergy problems do run in the family, but we don't understand why.
When we think about communication, we think about interactions.
We don't eat in the same way as we used to.
The thought never crossed my mind.
This science fiction novel uses inventions of outer space to create the setting.
He's only one example, but there are lots of others.
Unlike the other store, where it can take up to 14 days.
She is a tiger when it comes to her children.
It's the part of the brain that allows squirrels to find their nuts.
When you arrive, we ask you to remain with your group in the car park.
Lots of countries have problems with youngsters drinking.
They actually do have one key common ingredient.
The program will be shown on television during the weekend.
He will be staying around until about midday.
My two brothers were always fighting together over the television.
Think back to when we were children.
Einstein's theory of relativity is a milestone in the science field.
The thermometer on the front porch read minus 40 degrees.
The children were trying the teacher's patience.
In the investigation of Egypt Air Flight 804, which 2 weeks ago was traveling from Paris to Cairo. When it disappeared from radar, there had been a massive search underway. Pieces of debris have the French...
They should not bring anything to eat into the museum, or drinks of any kind.
...to locate the other black box yet. Another ship will be coming within a week, which has sophisticated means to recover the wreckage from the seafloor, which could be at depths of feet.
His theory about management has not been applied in the field yet.
Hopefully they haven't been damaged by the crash, and once they are analyzed here in Cairo, investigators hope it will give them some insight into what exactly happened on that plane. They're also hoping that...
And we also offer extra pay for working on national holidays.
Another piece of evidence which will help investigators also for the families. 66 people died in this crash. The families are hoping this news will also help in retrieving their loved one, Ian Lee.
Nearly half the science departments had deficiencies in equipment.
The country's foreign affairs is warning Americans about traveling to Europe. It says the large number of tourists who visit the continent over the summer could possibly be targets for terrorists.
I don't like to be interrupted in the middle of a lecture.
Into Europe among the scores of migrants and refugees going there. And a French intelligence official recently told CNN that police don't think they've arrested everyone involved in Brussels, Belgium.
Your things will always be there when you look for them.
Clear that this latest alert is not in response to a new or specific threat, but rather a more general warning to U.S. citizens traveling in Europe about the potential for...
He was a hard-working student and very close to his mother.
The hotel was set down at the bottom of the valley.
This allows 15 minutes to get on and off the coach.
I do have an antique tea kettle my great-grandmother gave my mother.
I tackled my assignments with vigor.
We could arrange for you to come for an interview.
There are two broad categories of cells.
And I don't just mean that they're feeling the same emotions.
According to the schedule, the first lecture begins at 9 o'clock.
U.S. State Department, which oversees the country's foreign affairs, is warning Americans about traveling to Europe. It says that the continent over
1 million accident and emergency admissions each year are a direct result of alcohol consumption.
reported earlier this week how terrorists are trying to sneak into Europe among the scores of migrants and refugees going there. And a French intelligence official recently told CNN that police involved in recent...
If you open an account, you get lots more special offers.
Well, the U.S. State Department has made it clear that this latest alert is not in response to a new or specific threat, but rather a more general...
This sounds like common sense, and it is.
Academic year kicks off right now. I'm Carl Lazus. It's good to see you this Thursday. First up, a new clue in the mysterious disappearance of a passenger plane over the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt 19th. Several countries...
I left the grammar book in my locker at school.
They've found only debris. There have been more questions than answers. Yesterday, though, investigators said that a French Navy ship detected signals from one of the plane's flight data recorders. Within altitude, engines...
We feel it's pretty good, and we also offer some good fringe benefits.
could hold the answers as to what exactly caused the aircraft to crash, and it helps investigators narrow down the area of the Mediterranean where they're searching. But the flight recorders only give out signals for about... so officials are in a race...
We're going to talk about alcohol, and more to the point, alcohol abuse.
Flight 804, which 2 weeks ago was traveling from Paris to Cairo, when it disappeared from radar. There had been a massive search underway. Pieces of debris have been recovered, as well as battleship La Place, which...
We have the advantage of technology and science.
They haven't been able to locate the other black box yet. Another ship will be coming within a week, which has sophisticated means to recover the wreckage from the seafloor, which could be at depth that's 10,000 feet.
Whatever you believe about why ocean tides exist is probably wrong.
Hopefully they haven't been damaged by the crash, and once they are analyzed here in Cairo, investigators hope it will give them some insight into what exactly happened on that plane with the...
His talk promises to be both stimulating and informative.
Another clue, another piece of evidence which will help investigators also for the families. 66 people died in this crash. The families are hoping this news will also help and give them a proper burial.
More people now live in cities than in the countryside.
U.S. State Department, which oversees the country's foreign affairs, is warning Americans about traveling to Europe. It says the large number of tourists who visit the continent over the summer could possibly be at large public...
The hotel was located in a heavenly place.
How terrorists are trying to sneak into Europe among the scores of migrants and refugees going there. And a French intelligence official recently told CNN that police don't think they've arrested terrorist attacks in Paris.
He gave many lectures to the Institute, principally on botany.
Well, the U.S. State Department has made it clear that this latest alert is not in response to a new or specific threat, but rather a more general warning to U.S. citizens traveling...
They have organelles, which include the nucleus and other special parts.
There have been more questions than answers. Yesterday, though, investigators said that a French Navy ship detected signals from one of the plane's flight data recorders. With information about the plane status and wing position...
When I finish school, I'll move to Europe.
...could hold the answers as to what exactly caused the aircraft to crash. And it helps investigators narrow down the area of the Mediterranean where they're searching. But the flight recorders only give out signals for about 30 are in a race...
After all that thinking, talking and listening, I expect everyone will be a bit weary.
Which 2 weeks ago was traveling from Paris to Cairo when it disappeared from radar. There had been a massive search underway. Pieces of debris have been recovered, as well as body parts, which located...
Your mind is teeming with ideas, and not just randomly.
The other black box yet. Another ship will be coming within a week, which has
Many Tokyo residents would say that the city's transport problems have not been solved.
I'm not talking about the kind of technology.
Meat must be heated thoroughly during cooking.
which oversees the country's foreign affairs, is warning Americans about traveling to Europe. It says the large number of tourists who visit the continent over the summer could possibly
We do that for a small additional charge.
sneak into Europe among the scores of migrants and refugees going there. And a French intelligence official recently told CNN that police don't think they've arrested everyone involved.
I can see we're going to have to go without food for the rest of the week.
We're going to come back to that in a few minutes.
The academic year kicks off right now. I'm Carl Lazus. It's good to see you this Thursday. First up, a new clue in the mysterious disappearance of a passenger plane over the Mediterranean Sea.
Almost everything we think we know about addiction is wrong.
They've found only debris. There have been more questions than answers. Yesterday, though, investigators said that a French Navy ship detected signals from one of the plane's flight data recorders.
He told me it was the most important assignment of all.
The so-called black box could hold the answers as to what exactly caused the aircraft to crash, and it helps investigators narrow down the area of the Mediterranean where they're searching. But the flight recorders only days after they get...
Well, you are right about the first point.
This is a huge breakthrough in the investigation of Egypt Air Flight 804, which 2 weeks ago was traveling from Paris to Cairo. When it disappeared from radar, there had been recovered.
Train travel is 1.5 times faster than travel by car.
Located the signal from one of the black boxes. They haven't been able to locate the other black box yet. Another ship will be coming within a week, which has sophisticated means to depths of...
If you want to eat there, you'll need to reserve some seating.
Black boxes are recovered. They will be analyzed. Hopefully they haven't been damaged by the crash. And once they are analyzed here in Cairo, investigators hope it will give them some insight into what exactly they're also...
The Nobel Prize has become the tip-top glory of science.
...the black boxes that they'll able to recover the fuselage. Another clue, another piece of evidence which will help investigators...
Chandler's goal was in the dying minutes of the game. Fossil fuels have caused irreversible damage to the environment. She and her husband had once owned a house like this. The keyboarding is done in-house. He may not look it, but Newman is a smooth operator. I had a really weird dream last night. we've had a long period of low rainfall. It was no longer financially feasible to keep the community centre open. His worst fault is his arrogance. It was cold outside, and she was glad of her coat. The prosecution tried to cast doubt on her character as a witness. He's taken great pains to improve his image. Regulations specify how long maintenance crews can work. Let's go, there's no point in sitting here twiddling our thumbs. Polluted water sources are a hazard to wildlife. I haven't been there for years.